Hey everyone, Andy Hall here with the incredible, the majestic. I can't think of any more superlatives about Tobin Templeman, but here he is. Here he is, and here I am too. How you doing, man?
Not bad. Hanging
Not
in
bad as
there.
good.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, right,
ready to make
right.
progress happen.
Ready to make progress happen. That is profound. I am making. Maybe that's what I should be trying to do. Making progress happen. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I'm happy to say my 5 days straight of Mondays, I hope is coming to an end. I believe I've hit nothing but Mondays this week. Monday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Thursday, Monday. I'm hoping today's not Friday, Monday. We'll find out. We'll find out pretty soon.
Man, that's
So
rough, dude.
it's been
Five
rough.
Mondays in a row? My
I'm hoping.
goodness.
Well, it's definitely 4 Mondays, and we'll see if today's the fifth Monday in a row. And so yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think today. Well, it's pouring. It was raining outside, and this is the one detriment of walking to work. And even though it's only like a 10 or 15 minute walk to work, um, walking in the rain, even when properly attired, is not enjoyable. So
No,
it
it's
looks
not.
like
Mm-mm.
it's not. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if I don't have to walk through the rain today. I will declare this a non-Monday. But up until now, yeah, I think I've gotten like um, 4 Mondays at least in a row right now. So we'll see. We'll see how today runs.
Man.
Simply Secular Dave. Dave, it's good to see that you're back. I know that you've had internet issues and you've been moving around and doing stuff. So a week of full Mondays podcast starting Monday. It could be like a fistful of Mondays, right? That's what it could be, a fistful of Mondays.
Oh,
Andy needs a proper vacay. Yeah, that would be nice. We'll see what happens. I'm going to Chicago. Actually, we're doing a college visit sometime in mid-April. That's like for 3 days: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe 4 days. So that'll be enjoyable. My kid, my excuse me, my youngest is interested in art school, and so um, you know, so we're gonna check out. I don't know. The girlfriend has it all mapped out. She is my official planner, right?
heck yeah.
And so yeah, we're gonna be checking out an art school sometime mid-April. So that's kind of like a vacation, right?
Yeah, getting to visit the Windy City?
Yes, yes.
Right on.
Dave says I'm now moved, officially moved, and got my high-speed internet yesterday. That's good, good dude. Yeah, I know that you had things going on at your old place, and you know, if I think we've all lived in environments that have not been positive, right? Like in terms of apartments or homes. Um, my first apartment with my ex-wife, this is back in the day, was in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and we lived on the first floor, and it was like a 3-story building. But for some reason, our bedroom, the ceiling leaked, and it was a mystery on why it leaked. They tore up the ceiling a couple of times. They did some roof work, but it appears, and some of you, anyone who's worked in the trades probably knows this or knows something about water. Once it gets inside a building, you don't know where it's going to end up. Um,
Yeah, because where it could be ending up is just the very end of the trail that is, it's like winded back somewhere else. Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
can be. Yeah, yep.
So, yeah. So they had to rip up the ceiling twice. Um, the bedroom that we were in, of course, didn't have any insulation in the walls either, so it got really cold
Whoa.
during the winter. Yeah, yeah, it was a great location. It was a great location. Similar to the location where I'm living now. Actually, I could probably walk to my old apartment in about half an hour to an hour or somewhere in there. It's a great location, but oh my freaking god, it was horrible. It was a horrible, cold and wet. Leaks travel. That's right, John Hudson. And I like your icon there, your little avatar, because it looks like you're saying leaks travel, just like that. That's what it looks like. Yeah,
My worst apartment experience was they did some work in the road uh right outside of our apartment, and they were working on the sewer lines,
yeah,
and it just like, if I started telling you how many of the little small roaches were in my apartment, you'd probably think I would be exaggerating, but I'd
right.
probably be underestimating.
Oh
Dude, it was the grossest experience I have. It's probably up there with that. Probably really is my grossest experience
man,
ever.
that I've had experiences not like that, but I've had some. It's funny how people up here in the colder climate react to roaches as against to people who live in warmer climates, right? For me, I never see a roach, basically, very rarely. When I was working when I was helping people, working with people who had disabilities, there were some houses that had roach issues, right? Just because it was cheap housing, it was communal housing. Once one unit got a roach, then a lot of units got roaches, and it was like trying to hold back the tide. Um, yeah,
And that's one of the downsides to living in apartments. Like, if your other people who surround you are not I mean, well, actually, I'm saying that, and now I started thinking about it. I was like, you can live out in the rural area and have a bunch of people around you that are crazy too. So I don't
yeah.
know. I guess you can't escape the crazy.
You can't. You can only mitigate. The crazy. I imagine in a rural area though, because you're living so far away from other people, typically, is that you don't have to worry about your neighbors having roaches.
Yeah.
Simply Secular Dave says the guy downstairs from me at the old place had two space heaters on all night and was still cold. My half of the electricity bill went up $50 a month after he moved in. Yep, yep, yep. There's an
You know,
area
like,
out.
oh,
Go ahead, man.
like I've done a lot of handiwork and stuff like that, and I've gone out of a lot of people's homes, and it was nuts. Um, I was doing work at a condos place, and this person's like they had the heaters on, and whenever you walked inside, it like took the breath out of me. I would have to like go outside and like kind of like gain my breath again, and
Yeah,
then go back in and do a little bit more work.
yeah,
I don't know how people do that to themselves. It's like
yeah,
slowly cooking themselves.
yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know either, dude. I don't know. What I have found is that if you are already impaired, you're more likely to make impaired decisions. I guess that's a way. I guess that's kind of obvious, right? So if you already have some kind of cognitive issue, then you're more than likely going to create an environment where it is not always good for you, right? Healthy wise. Like I know guys who if you have one brain injury, for an example, because I worked with guys who have brain injuries for 20 years, the statistics show that if you have one brain injury, you're more than likely to get a second brain injury, or your chances of getting a second one are much higher just because of the risk taking behavior that typically happens after you have your first head injury or your impaired cognitive ability, your inability to make good decisions. Um, so yeah, I could see that people who already are impaired could have couple of space heaters cracking and taking out your breath and making an unhealthy environment. Inundated with roaches. Man, Love that punk band. That's a joke, by the way. I had to wait a long time to tell that joke. I had to wait. I had to wait.
Yeah.
Dude, I
Oh,
just
what's
can't
up, D?
stand roaches. Yeah, yeah, it's good to see D back. Traveling D, huh? Doing all kinds of stuff. Uh, most bugs I'm okay with, not sharing space with, but I can't with those. Yeah, yeah, roaches. And to tell you the truth, I got issues with mice too. Um, uh, you know, and I have to tell you, as a kid, I think we were, at least me, I was inundated with pro mouse propaganda. Mickey Mouse, Tom and Jerry, that was there was a mouse industrial complex brainwashing our youth about how cute and adorable mice are. And let me tell you, all right, so they might look cute, but they are dirty animals. They just poo. If you've ever seen a mouse in a house, if you've ever had mice in the house, they just poo everywhere,
And
everywhere.
it's bad for your respiratory system too. Like
Yeah,
there's a sickness that comes along with it
yeah,
if it gets really bad.
yeah, yeah. So we lived in a farmhouse um, years ago out in the country. And it was like rural, like suburban rural area. And we were we bordered on two sides with farmland. And yeah, we had mice. We had mice. And unfortunately, the cat we had at the time, my ex wife and I, we were married. Um, our cat didn't understand how to kill, right? Because cats have to learn how to do the killing bite. And so the cat, when it got a mouse, it would just play with it, not knowing what to do.
Right on.
That's right. Tons of mice. Big exception there. Good guy. Tons of mice. Mice, gerbils, hamsters, and ferrets. I think I don't do ferrets poop everywhere. I mean, I don't know anything about ferrets. Are ferrets like litter box trained?
I
I
had
would,
a
I would,
friend who had a ferret. I can't remember, but I do remember the little booger. Like I'd be trying to sleep over at his house, and this ferret would come and bite me right back between my knee, or like get you in your the the section right in between your elbow or on the back side of your elbow. I'm having a hard time describing my body parts right now, but he would bite you in the most weirdest spots.
wow, that's weird. My cat will, when I'm lounging in bed, when I wake up in the morning, and the cat's there, of course, because she's like this morning, this is what happened. Occasionally I get a full night's sleep, and it takes me a couple of minutes to get out of bed, and the cat's usually there, and she's like, "Why the hell are you not out of bed? You're usually up at the ass crack of dawn. There's a crack of dawn. There's the ass crack of dawn, and I'm usually up at the ass crack of dawn, which is earlier than the crack of dawn. And when I get a good night's sleep, Biscuit is there, like looking at me, wondering what the hell's going on. You're not working on the schedule." And she will occasionally nip me on the elbow when she sees that I'm awake, and I'm just
Mhm.
like, yeah. She will be like, "Hurry up, people! Hurry up, human!" And she's already been fed too. We have an automatic feeder, but she just wants the day to get moving, and she feels that the day's not moving until I get out of bed.
Keeping us in check, you know? I think that's why they're our overlords, right?
That's right. That's right, Tobin. With the deer mice, there is a chant of hantavirus. John Hudson, two things. This is what I've learned. As soon as I think that one of the viewers, one of the people on the chat comes up with a term that it smells like BS to me, like hantavirus. That can't be real. I bet it. I'm proven to be wrong within like 2 seconds. So I'm going to look up hantavirus actually, just to see if it is hantavirus. Oh, yep, that's real. Hantavirus is real. It's HANT, so it's hantavirus. All right, so hey, that's a real thing. You know what I found out the other day is that a group of ferrets is called a business of ferrets. And I think that's the
Oh,
funniest thing I heard. I heard that yesterday. A group of ferrets is a business of ferrets. So you can just imagine them with collars and typing away and doing things.
right.
Um, Dave, talking some hate on anti-ferret stuff. Ferrets are ridiculous, stinky, and devious. People who live with ferrets say they don't smell because the odor is so pervasive that they go blind to it. Wow.
I do remember that too. Yeah.
Do they have scent glands? Do they have scent glands like skunks? I don't know. I feel like my ferret knowledge is very low, and I apologize to everyone for that.
It smells like a hamster cage, just like, you know, just multiply that by like 10 or something like that. Like it consumes the house. At
Yeah.
least it did. Maybe you can be cleaner about it. Although I will speak for my friend. It they weren't exactly like disgusting people. They were clean people.
Yeah.
But it still was I can remember the smell. Ah, what am I thinking about?
Ferret smell. That's what. But and the girlfriend says in college, my friend's ferret was voted homecoming king. Was that ferret smelly? Was that ferret smelly, girlfriend? Also, the ferret's name was Doofus. Interesting. Interesting. Doofus, the homecoming king. Did he have a little crown? Oh, now this is adorable, right? And I don't use the word adorable that often. A flock of hummingbirds is called a charm. A charm of hummingbirds. Yes, he smelled a bit. The ferret does. So even maybe a clean ferret smells. And yes, he had a crown. Wow. The ferret. Wow. You know, if he was a king ferret, then maybe you give him a pass because of the crown for the smell, right? I don't know. Do you bathe ferrets? Is that something that you do too?
I
Do you
think
wash a
yeah, I
ferret?
think you can wash them and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But
See, right now that just seems like a lot of work
yeah,
between the smell, the biting, the smell, the washing, maybe.
yeah, a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that's why I like cats.
Yeah,
Minimal, some responsibility, not a whole lot.
more like company in a way, kind of,
They're
you know.
company.
Yeah,
So yes, the girlfriend says the ferret got baths. So there you go. We're just diving into ferret knowledge here this morning.
yeah, it was crazy. It was a couple of nights ago this happened. Um, I did not get that much rest. I got rudely awakened, and it was a really nice night out, and we had opened up our windows,
Mhm.
and there's just this really nice breeze happening, and at 2:30 I woke up uh getting something tossed on me, and it was all wet, and like it landed right on my stomach, and Kendra jumped up so fast. It was crazy. Like she hopped up off the bed and was on the ground and was like, "What's going on?" Cuz I like jolted awake, dude, at 2:30 a.m. I'm like, "What the heck is going on?" And I had left like a quarter of a cup of coffee sitting up on the ledge near the window, and the wind blew it
Oh
over on me.
no, dude, you're like you fucked yourself. That's what you did. I'm gonna give
Yeah,
myself a yellow card. You know, um, yeah, yeah. That does. You know, congratulations not getting a heart attack over that.
Yeah.
So, John Hudson with another interesting, we're going to use the word interesting, John Hudson story here. I had a girlfriend who had a pet skunk distinct, but it bit her mom, so she killed it and had it stuffed and gave it back to her. You know, that sounds very Texas. If there was like a Texas story, I think that sounds Texas to me. I mean, speaking as an ignorant northerner.
That is a mighty smell. Oh my goodness.
Well, when I had my dog years ago, we were living in the suburbs, and my dog mixed it up with a skunk, and it was nasty. It was nasty. So here is the link. Simply Secular Dave. Glad to see that you're back on the team, Dave. All right, I gotta get my second screen open here. I've been lazy about getting this up and running, so I can take a look at it. There's the link for everyone in the chat. Um, Rice University Doofus King. Oh, he's adorable. Look at him. That's a great. Take a look at it. I mean, if you want to. I mean, it's a ferret with a little king, and he has a little banner around him that says King, and it is pretty cool. Oh, that was when you were living in Scottsdale, Arizona, huh? It's funny what kind of, I was talking to a neighbor. I was walking down the street, walking back home, and it's a city, so I don't know a lot of my neighbors, right? I mean, we don't really interact. There's a bunch of people living around us, and I was just talking to some guy, young guy, who just came here. Well, came here years ago, a couple of years ago. He was from Arizona, and it's funny how conversations evolve, right? When you're talking to someone, and he's like, "Yeah, I was talking with these guys, and I wasn't sure what the rules of violence, basically." And this is me truncating our conversation. He said, "I didn't know what the rules of violence were in this city." And it's like, "Oh, please tell me more." Because, and this is somewhat true, right? I've heard this from different like legitimate sources, is that, well, you could flip someone off, like in New York City, for an example, they just consider it to be par for the course. If you
Oh
do it in
no.
see, exactly, if you do it in some places like in Texas, where there's more of an honor culture, then that is an invitation. That is an invitation.
I was in high school. Kendra had a friend that she was much closer to this friend than I was, but um in high school he was on the 610 loop or right around that area around the George Brown Convention Center in Houston,
Mhm.
and he uh had a small race with somebody and then flipped them off, and they opened fired on him. They killed him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
Um,
yeah, it's like that.
yeah. Yeah.
You got to
Yeah.
be very careful of your at least I did. I became very I don't know. I had moments like that. Like my cousin, it was in the Galleria Mall and got jumped, and they just like took the money and
Mhm.
their belongings. He was with like 3 or 4 friends, and their whole group just got yeah. It's a place where you have to be very aware of your surroundings and uh, mind your P's and Q's.
Oh yeah. 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 Yeah, it sounds it. It sounds it. So yeah, I met one of my neighbors yesterday, and weird about different rules of violence in different areas in the country. But I guess that's like anywhere else, right?
Yeah.
Simply Secular Dave wants to say, "I was never off the team, right, Andy? You didn't dump me." No, of course not. You didn't have the internet for a few days. This is true. This is true, Dave. I stand corrected, sir. What's up, Ian?
Yeah, it is crazy. And that's one thing I a little while back I was watching that Indigo Traveler and seeing him go through these countries and not just like the really nice places. He usually went through the places that are less traveled.
Mm.
But yeah, the rules of engagement, like knowing your area. That's kind of one reason why I s- have stayed in Texas and stayed like in a place that I'm very I'm very familiar with Texas,
Yeah.
and I know the places where I don't really want to visit, but if I go out of the state, it's like, you know, I don't really know what I to expect unless I have somebody who can like bring me in.
Right. Right. It's always, yeah, it's good to have someone, you know, with you to show you the lay of the land. Of course, touristy areas, if you go, like when we go to Chicago, for example, I'm sure we're just going to go to the touristy areas, right? I mean, there's a loop, there's a bean, there's museum, there's a couple of museums, the Second City, that kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. Like for example, I was living in Brockton. I grew up in Brockton, which is a tough city, has a reputation, which I talked about before. But before and as an adult, I moved back after the divorce, and had a condo. And it was I got a good deal on it, but I was living there, and people kind of raised their eyebrows, like, why would you live there in Brockton? Because it's kind of sketch. It's like, listen, it's not a problem. It's a very safe area most of the time during the day. I'm not going out for walks at nighttime. Yeah, there's some sketch places I just don't go to. Um, but overall, if you keep your head on your shoulders, nothing bad's going to happen to you. And the more excuses I gave, it's like the worse it sounded. It's like, oh yeah, it was a lot worse 30 years ago during the cocaine crack epidemic.
Yeah. Yeah, that ravaged some cities. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, yeah. So do you have any plans this weekend, Tobin?
Um, just gonna keep on working on my music and working on projects around here and making progress happen, making things happen. Yeah,
Man, you are.
I got some ideas for the channel after I finish putting out this last song of this group,
Mhm.
this album. Yeah, I have some ideas I want to play with. I want to get into, but yeah,
Good, good, dude. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna sit down and do some serious writing. I think serious comedy writing, basically, and over the weekend, and you know, plan and scheme. Is that right?
yeah.
I think plan and scheme. That's my plan. My plan is to plan and scheme. Today's plan is to plan to plan to
Plans are
scheme.
very important,
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
think things through. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Because as I mentioned in the first show, I'm going to be curtailing the amount of time I spend on the first because the first show just takes me an insane amount of time to get ready. Between doing the research on the show, on the stories, and and yeah, yeah. So I have to. So I'm going to shut that. I'm going to cut that down a bit in terms of time, and so I have more time to do other things, other creative
right on.
ventures. Because
Well, I'll be following along. I've been
good.
following along. I mean, whenever I first started watching your channel, you were doing those best advice ever,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I like those. I like them a lot, but no one watched. you know, and yeah, they were just the if the I'm trying to strategize on how to grow the channel, so you can see how I'm trying to do that, in making shorter content, but more content too at the same time. So there's more individual pieces, like I'm doing more shorts, and that's bringing more people into the channel. And but my goal is not to burn out, and I'm very good at not burning out. I've been good about pacing myself, and not burning out, and that's my goal, is to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, have fun with it, man. Change it up,
Yeah,
every once in a while.
yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the
Heck yeah.
support.
Heck yeah.
All right. So I think I'm going to close things out. It's been a half an hour. Tobin Templeman, thanks for showing up today, Tobin.
Hey,
And everyone in the
Shamla
chat,
Hamla. Yeah,
Shamala
yeah.
Hamala.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
take care.